Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Pokemon Cards Mail Day, episode 25 of July 2026. How's everybody doing? And let me tell you, I tried to record this video already 3 times. I did actually record last week 2 videos worth 20 minutes of recording each. But I decided to delete them because I was rambling even more than I usually do already. But I want to get back to one of the topics that I talked about in the deleted videos, and let's start right off with the Pokemon card mail days for today. 3 pals, 1 pal is for the PC for today, the personal collection pickups. Left pal is backstock inventory that I put up for sale whenever this pal has been sold, since this is now already listed online for sale. Excuse me for the loud airplane in the background, and okay, let's start. So these cards are picked up in the last 2 weeks prior to the recording. The recording will probably be released on the day it is recorded, so in the last 2 weeks I picked up these cards. I selected the cards that I wanted to keep for my personal collection, and I put the other cards back up for sale. How are the sales going right now? Well, let me tell you, there is actually a significant Pokemon card summer slowdown going on for me. Yeah, I can truly notice it. Over the last week I have sold less and less over the course of the last few weeks. But I said in previous videos already as well, I don't really mind. I have time to do other things. I'm a little bit less motivated to record those Pokemon card mail days because the sales are a little bit down. It is very hot up here in the attic where I record my Pokemon card videos. So let's see, we have a couple of ultra rares here. The Walking Wake is a Black Star promo. Then we have the Scissor EX from Temporal Forces, awesome cards. We have a really cool unique Unknown V. This Unknown is the Black Star variant and alternate art of the regular Unknown V from Silver Tempest. But people don't see this as an actual alternate art, although it is. We have a Suicune from Evolving Sky, so I labeled them all as ink layer error on the back. I've talked about that in a problem in the past as well. During the production process of these regular ultra rare V Pokemon cards, the printing sheets were put on top of each other way too quickly that the upper layer of the front of the card, the ink layer of the card, was still wet, so you will see imprints on the back side of the card identical to this shape, for example the V shape. Now I take that shape because I have an example picture that I also use to try to explain to people what it means, the ink layer error, and I can now put it up easily on the screen for you guys. Moving on to some really cool Cosmos Foil Pokemon cards. So yeah, the sales are going. Today I had to bring back for the weekend. Or not bring back, I had to deliver to or hand over to the postal office 3 tracked letterboxes and 3 bubble mailers. So we still have consistent sales going on, but it is more like not orders above $50 and not all art rares in Japanese, but more like $1 to $2 Cosmos foils, for example. Here and there we sell an art rare for $5 and over, but the higher money amount orders are really slowing down. A lot of people just buy 1 or 2 or 3. As we move into this really cool Gengar Lost Origin, $3 already, folks. I couldn't believe my eyes. This card was 20 cents for the longest of time, but then the Gengar hype happened, so to say. And then we have a Pikachu from Pokemon Go, so I had tons of this card, sold them all for 10 cents a piece. I'm now trying to sell this one for $1. I paid 60 cents for it. It's incredible how these bulk cards have gone up in price. I still have some of those Pikachus left in my personal collection as well. I think that personally some of these cards are just getting too ridiculous in price, and that is why people move back to the regular holo rares, which are also moving up in price, but they're still affordable. So what is more affordable? We also have this Arbok from Collect 151. It's the simplified Chinese version of Pokemon card 151. And surprisingly enough, this card is about $2. And this is really, it starts to get more attractive to purchase some of these simplified Chinese cards. If these are really this low of prices, I can put a sale on the screen for you that I had just handed off to the postal office. And there was a Ninetales included from the same set, also pretty affordable, below $5, while the English variant and even the Japanese variant are around $8 or 12 or $15 even for the English one. Having that said, I really like to purchase and collect all these art rares in Japanese. For the art rares I have the rule, if I collect it, I also put one up for sale. Usually I try to buy what I like, and then I can also sell what I like, and it is very funny to see that other people, if they buy cards from me, have the same interests or the same card preference. But it is more and more difficult to source the inventory. People don't have that many of the nice cards anymore up for sale at the same time. Usually when you purchase one of these Jirachis from Time Gazer, for example, you also have to purchase some other cards like this German binary reverse foil. Not a lot of people have for a cheap price 4 of this card available at the same time. So there we have the Pokemon fan club, small scratch or 2 on the back, unfortunately. Awesome card, really fan of that one in English and Japanese. And like I said with the Jirachi, if someone has 2 Jirachis and you want 2 Jirachis but you want to also fill up the envelope to make the shipping cost go lower per card, sometimes you stumble upon some random cards like this one. This is the Pokemon Center lady, and it is an event organizer stamp. That's pretty awesome. It is from a booster pack, an event booster pack, I believe. I'm not sure if there is anyone out there willing to pay $4 for this, especially since it's non-holo. I paid $3, $3.50 for it, so let's see. It is definitely a really cool card, but it doesn't fit in my collection, and it doesn't fit with my collection goals. So there we have Haspilar, which is binary, obviously. The Pikachu, Mega Starter Deck 100, non-foil variant, and some Loudred from Ancient Roar, I believe. Not sure. It does definitely seem like an Ancient Roar over there. And then we have the Iron Valiant. So these cards are not so much in demand. I have a lot of them in English and Japanese sitting around. Hopefully these futuristic looking cards and Pokemon will get back in demand sometime. And when I was searching for cards to purchase and for my personal collection, but also to put back up for sale, I saw that there is a gold variant of this Iron Valiant as well, which looks really cool and is not that much more expensive. Maybe I'm gonna try to buy one of those and see if those sell. And then we have some more ultra rare fees, so a lot of them have a few scratches here and there. This Galate is in beautiful condition, possible PSA 10. Hunchcrow, that's not one of people's favorites, and it is pretty common, and a lot of stores, you see a lot of stores sitting with those, like the Hunchcrow. So you have like 3 or 4 different categories of regular ultra rares. The lowest tier is that everybody has sitting in their inventory. If you go to Card Market and you go to a large store, there will be people that have 50 of these Hunchcrows in stock. Also the Kingler or the Galarian Meowth, those are pretty common ones. The Weavile or Sneasler as well. A lot of stores have big stacks of them because they were able to purchase them from, for example, vending for 30 cents a piece, 50 cents a piece. But you see those prices rise now a little bit more towards the $1 a piece, and obviously you have the second tier, that is the regular ultra rares, which are a little bit more special than the lowest tier in my opinion. And then you have the ultra rare tier that is one step higher even more, where you start to get ultra rares for $3, $4, the regular ultra rares. And then you have the insane crazy ones like Mew and Lugia. Lugia is 15 to 20 euros right now, $20. The Ho-Oh is $5. So the Mew, you have a lot of different Mew fees, ultra rares, Crown Zenith, Darkness Ablaze, Fusion Strike. Those are all going up right now at the moment as well, so yeah. Usually I like to buy the ones from the lowest tier and I sell them for 10 to 20% profit because I could buy a bunch of them and have a large inventory. But if they're not even looked at by people, what is then the value of having it in inventory? If you are relisting stuff, it is only a lot more work, but occasionally I'm selling some of those as well. Let's see, another Murkrow. So people start to see the Yukimori cards in my inventory, and they're very selective about it. Someone I see, they purchase 3 to 4 Yukimori cards, I'm always smiling. I think, even though it's a bulk card, 20 cents, other people would probably be able to charge 50 cents to $1, maybe $2, just because it's Yukimori and it is in demand. But I'm already happy selling it for 20 cents. Hopefully at one point when my inventory is large enough, and that is also a topic that I wanted to talk about in today's video, I can try to divide the prices more, so I can be selective about what I put up for $1, what I put up for $2, what I put up for 20 cents. So every bulk card right now I try to list for 20 cents, but once my inventory is large enough, I will be able to put the Slowpokes, the Psyducks, the Murkrows from Yukimori, for example, all up to 50 cents maybe. And then that is what I said with the tiers of the ultra rares as well. If you have enough ultra rares, it is possible to make a distinction between different classes. You can say, oh, the floor price for these is 50 cents to $1. Then you go to the next floor price, $2, $3, etc. And if you have a small inventory, that is pretty much more difficult to do. You have more customized prices for different cards. So one card is 150, one card is 170, one card is 180. And meanwhile, you can put some cards up for $1 and others for $2. That is the difference. And it is easier to calculate as well if you have standard pricing, because I have to look up every card. If people give me a list of cards, I have to look it up in comparison when they give me a list. And I know, oh, $2, $2, $2, $5, $5, $5. That is much more time saving as well. So we have the Eevee sealed promo, Shining Fates, almost vintage, right? It's already 6 years old or so. Incredible. I started around collecting Pokemon cards. I came back into the hobby actually during this release of Shining Fates, or at least it was maybe 1 or 2 months after. And now we are 6 years ahead, 6 years further. Incredible. This was a great time as well, the bloody evolved ETBs. I love these cards. They're sealed. They're traditional Chinese, I believe. I have to look that up, but I believe so. And yeah, great. We have the Sword Shield starters with Pikachu on an alternate art or art rare. This variant even has a stamp, so yeah, awesome. Now let me insert the part here of the video that I already edited. It is only 2 minutes from last week. I recorded 2 videos. I told you I deleted them both, but I kept 2 minutes. When people are discussing the topic of Pokemon card collecting, more often than not you hear them talk about highly graded cards, very valuable collectibles in decent quality, low population, scarce and rare items. But don't forget that Pokemon, the Pokemon Company, printed over 10 billion cards in 1 year. Most of these cards will be cards like these. I was busy with sorting some bulk and preparing it to be listed online. I use the alphabetized system to sort my cards. That way I can easily find them back, and I have several boxes so I can go A to Z in box 1, A to Z in box 2, etc. Now admittedly, this is not the most exciting part of the hobby for me either. I rather spend all day looking at the other cards like PSA 10 graded cards, Japanese exclusives or English chase cards, etc. Alternate art, special illustration rares. But for every 1 or so of those, there are probably like a million cards that are only worth like between 3 and, for example, 20 cents. I try to set the floor price of my bulk cards on 20 cents. And this is what they call bulk. And to get all these type of cards listed and eventually sold is a lot of work for a low reward. Although it is very time consuming, I must say I enjoy it. It is not my favorite part of the hobby, but there are a lot of other things that are worse than sorting bulk Pokemon cards. Now I just wanted to make a quick and short video about showing you all these bulk cards. And in the meantime, I wanted to talk a little bit about the price differences between different cards, between chase cards and bulk cards, but also the price difference between different chase cards. So what I think is going to happen, since there has been such a price increase over the board in Pokemon, I think everything will eventually reset. There are too expensive Pokemon cards at the moment. They will keep printing more and more, and what you can see, there are items that will be valuable, and then there will be more items that will be valuable in the future, and more and more and more. Just for the sake of the amount of effort that I already put in it. So now that you have seen that, what I meant with the big reset, I actually meant something like recalibration. I just talked about it for a minute as well already. So here we have the cards that are in the back stock, some beautiful cards. I still have to remind myself to do something with the Houndoom art rare, so note to self. And then, yeah, okay, we have some really cool art rares here. One from Inferno X, a few scratches. This one is from Paradise Dragon and Searching Sparks. Man, I think the Skarmory at least is so undervalued for the art that it is. But what I wanted to talk about is the reset or the recalibration of a lot of prices. Because someone said, I think it was Rudy from Alpha Investments, we are already 12 sets or so ahead of Twilight Masquerade. And this is something with the Mask of Change, I think. So we're already 12 sets further than this. Well, this was 2 to 3 years ago. So there are so many new sets in a short time period, but also so many more chase cards have been released. So what I see is that a lot of cards still hold a lot of value, and that is perfectly fine. That is how it's supposed to be. But I think there are too many cards right now that have a high value. So what I think will happen in the near future, I keep it short because I don't want to delete this video again. Basically, to keep it very short, I think some prices of high-end cards might go down. So if you want to buy them right now, be very careful. That's always the same thing with the volatile market, but I think there is too many high-end priced cards right now out there. I think we could see a huge uptick in some of the cards where some cards the value might drop down, and that is just because the demand will shift. People will say, oh, this card is very cool, I want it right now, but then there is the next big thing and people want that, and at one point you cannot have everything. And I don't think there is too much demand for everything. So there is demand for Pokemon, but if the demand on a certain card falls off and people want to sell it because nobody is interested in it anymore and they're starting to undercut each other, at the same time, if there is some new card or some other card is rediscovered, that prices will go up very quickly and fast as well. So yeah, let me know what you think on that topic. As we see here, the Pokemon Ranger, very awesome card, folks. I was not able to pick this card up, for example, because I thought it was way too expensive. I think it must have been like 20 bucks or so, maybe 30 bucks already. And now I picked this one up for 12, so I think I have a steal. Despite it having a yellow sticker, folks, it is 1 or 2 dots of whitening on the back. I still gonna put this one in the personal collection. I'm not sure if I'm able to find this card in a better condition ungraded when I purchase it raw. And it is technically still near mint, even to my standards, so I don't mind 1 to 2 spots of whitening, although I did mention it here, so I know it for myself when I'm going to look through my binders. And perhaps I want to select cards for grading. I know I can skip the ones with the yellow sticker, but I could also maybe reverse the sleeve and then you don't see the sticker even, but it's still on there, so it is easier to spot. You don't have to condition check every card over and over again. So there we have the Houndour from Obsidian Flames. It is Ruler of the Black Flame. Awesome card. Has been a while since I picked that one up. And for my 151 Artware collection I picked up one more Executor. I don't think I have that one in the collection yet. I might have had some, but I think I already sold them. And we have 2 Horshies. These are, I think, Night Wanderer, Shrouded Fable, and these prices are starting to rise, just like the Lapras. Oh my, from V-Star Universe. I was shocked to see it was 12 to 15 bucks. And then I purchased and sold some of the Abyss Eye Goldines. Here we have some for the PC. I sold one, and I will sell one more, and I keep one at least, but maybe I'm gonna purchase even more. That's always the question. Another Pokemon Fan Club, awesome card, Pikachu gimmick everywhere. This is a reversed Poncho. It is not a Pikachu in clothing, but it is a kid in Pikachu clothing. It's a pretty cool card. The phenomena of the Pokemon Fan Club is very long around already. I might remember or I might be mistaken. So we have a cool Pawniard with a really cool swirl, I believe. And then we have Bisharp, also yellow sticker, tough to obtain in mint condition, so I'm satisfied with this one. Also a really cool swirl over there. And then we have one that I had not seen before, although it is from Stellar Crown a while back. We have a Yukamori Melton, and that's a really cool claymation art. But I feel like it is claymation. And then a Stellar Crown stamp, and it is Cosmos Foil. This is an awesome card, near mint. I'm gonna keep that one. And to finish up the video, we have one more Mewtwo V from the Pokemon Go Elite Trainer box. It is a pretty cool full art if you ask me. It is a sealed card. Unfortunately, the seal is a little bit sliced or damaged. It is still technically sealed. It is not, the slices are not deep enough to get through the entire seal, but it doesn't look that great. But still, sealed Mewtwo for the PC, picked it up, and I picked one of these up for myself as well. The other ones are going back up for sale. So without too much further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I hope everybody enjoyed this content. Leave a like on the video and let me know in the comments what you think about the recalibration of the Pokemon card prices in the near future. Where some prices of high-end cards may fall off a cliff, where other cards will start to rise in price and we will see new champions on the top, or even some champions that are already existing will skyrocket even further. And subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content, and I'll catch you all on the next episode. Thanks for watching, have a great day.